Hey you geeks, and we're back on Scadrial with Shadows of Self, which feels like a Mistborn book again. Existential crisis, attempted deity side, and questionable statecraft. It's all here.
I pull one tiny thread and their whole world unravels into chaos. Glorious chaos.
I don't love this recipe like I love Sanderson's other work, but I will admit that this is a particularly potent combination. The entire second half kept me on the edge of my seat, and it is certainly worth reading twice, since the finale recontextualizes the whole tale and sends it spinning on its head. I will now spoilerifically break down this story's characters, world-building magic system, and plot. Wax. The country noble who becomes a crack-shot lawman and has to kill his wife twice. Athos?
It was my duty to uphold the law. My duty to condemn the woman I love to death.
It certainly fits with the Parisian vibes Elendel is still giving off. And I'm just a sucker for those God v state v man v love themes, which both stories invoke. Wax's character arc just sort of sneaks in at the end and knocks you over the head with feelings. Sure, we get hints. His relation with Sterris has grown more cordial, and with his family more tense. I never got the impression in the last book that Wax's Terrace blood was quite so close or so disapproving of his twin-born status. Him taking out his earring in the finale is brilliant. The apparent reason is to keep Bleeder out of his head, which incidentally interrupts his relation with Harmony. But in the end, it's revealed that he used it to spike Bleeder. It's Harmony whose interference led to her death. Again.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Wayne is adapting to cultured city life.
Unrespectable, staring right at ya, lousy wrist at ya. Not been with all them, not getting much.
Last book we were told his backstory, which made Wax sound like a good guy. Now we see Wayne making recompense for his wrong, making him the good guy. He also gets to be smart and solve the mystery first. Also, his description of the common man's religion is pure poetry.
We are one in the spirits that we hide in the floor.
He may have the best argument for why it was right for Wayne to kill Lassie, again, but he's not exactly the seat of all wisdom. He can't even speak High Imperial. He still chases Renette, who is clearly not interested, and possibly in another relationship. Also, he's mean to Sterris, which she neither appreciates nor deserves. Sterris. I'm starting to warm to Sterris. I always say I like a well-balanced or complementary couple to ship, and Sterris is clearly meant to be Wax's complement, the planner to his impulsiveness, the socially adept to his, growling, and the rather dull to his excitement.
Don't give up, you have somewhere to turn.
At least she appreciates his hobbies and is there as a shoulder to cry on. Sanderson gives his heroes such trauma that I'm glad Wax also has Sterris. Though I wish he'd give Sterris something to do besides planning a wedding, which may or may not actually happen. Marasi has improved as a character since last book, but it feels like we missed her major life-altering decision to join the police force. Sure, we get her after-the-fact explanation, but it's told, not shown. I do like what she has grown into, a check on Wax's spontaneity, a bridge to the officers of the law who have to put up with Wax's extra legal brand of justice?
This is their paperwork. You know they're not going to do it. That's right. Anyway, now who wants it?
Though I would like to point out that, hypothetically, under today's standards, she did not have legal justification to search the governor's desk. She expected to find notes containing a romantic relationship, which is not a crime. Considering Bleeder's elaborate scheme to distract Wax, I agree with Marasi's later thoughts that the letters were a distraction for her. A distraction that ultimately backfired when the police captain did the right thing and organized a coup d'etat. The most polite coup d'etat Scadrial has ever seen, but still a coup. Funny how often Sanderson's law keepers break the very thing they are trying to uphold in the name of justice. Ironic, isn't it?
Milan, darling, Milan.
Why, oh why did Michael Kramer give her Barrelane's voice? What happened to the bright-eyed youth from The Hero of Ages? I guess Condra can grow up in a few centuries. And her tone clearly says that this is not my childhood's touched by an angel.
People are complicated things.
I know. That's what I love about them.
No, this is far creepier, yet somehow more fun. World building. Sanderson makes the most of his limited time to set up divisions which tear Elendel apart: class, money, and religion. I appreciate the Church of the Survivors' disdain for the Pathians' loose spirituality approach. Also, very clever to have Bleeder upset them by telling them the truth. I never liked Kelsier as a character, and I'm quite happy he is being regarded as a villain in the wider Cosmere. I also appreciate that the Doxithium is apocryphal, since we know Doxon died in the Siege of Luthadel, so he wasn't around to be writing religious text after the fact.
What was that? I don't know. I was too busy talking to Big Nose. I think it was Blessed Are the Cheesemakers.
But these exquisite little details don't quite add up to the midpoint's brink of bloody revolution we're supposed to feel. Part of it is our protagonists are all upper-classers, save Wayne, of course. Though even Wayne, as part of the establishment, isn't going to be privy to the underclass's plans. The other part is when we do see protesters, they don't seem that upset. The protesters trying to take the main thoroughfare was weak sauce. Roads for protests are easy pickings, and we're supposed to buy that a handful of police officers held off a mob.
On your allegiance we've a stronger claim. We charge you yield.
Right. Once we get to the governor's party, the world clicks into place well enough that we're off to the Dark Night in Scadrial, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Though the Condra's ability to keep the Lord Ruler's palace a secret under Elendel is typical Scadrial suspension of disbelief. At the very least, in a series devoted to raising questions of justice, Milan's solution to the governor standing trial is excellently executed. So Sanderson's rough build made just enough sense to carry that point. Magic system. We've known about the Kandra for 4 books now, so the new rule that one spike means crazy is a fairly simple, even if it has new and disturbing uses like the pseudo-Kolos near Trollocs creation Bleeder concocted. Though Bleeder's ability to literally pull new abilities out of thin air is annoying. I'd hazard it's intentionally so to draw attention to the powers granted by the other god metal. And that's the real frustrating question about the system. What exactly can a shard do?
The uncertainty principle. It proves we can't ever really know what's going on. 2
spikes means under Harmony's control, mostly. We're told preservation had the ability to read minds, which makes sense as the complement to Ruin's ability to speak into them. Yet ultimately Harmony was unable to stop Bleeder from killing herself. Harmony didn't want to kill Bleeder, that was Wax originally. But it was Harmony's plan to send Wax out to the rough and then bring him back as the Sword of Justice. And he may have ordered Lessie to fake her own death, or maybe he even caused the infamous wrong way lurch. This raises so many questions. Yes, there are parallels to the problem of evil in the real world, but before I can make a comparison, I need to know how much of Wax's devastation was caused by Harmony's direct act. Sazed himself is a member of the Dead Wives Club, so maybe he made this plan figuring it was the best way to prepare Wax for hopefully something bigger than Elendel. But how much was caused by Harmony allowing the Lord Ruler's top assassin to do things her way? As if assigning a mentally unstable assassin to guard duty is ever a good idea.
I know this is gonna end this way. It was always gonna end this way.
I didn't believe it.
Harmony, at the very least, forbid TenSoon from telling the truth up front, which makes him momentarily a complete git. Plot. Sanderson has really improved his Who is the Kandra mystery plot. Back in the Well of Ascension, it seemed like a distraction from the other 3 plots going on in that book. And since Vin wasn't too keen to find out the answer, the reader wasn't encouraged to care either. Here, by simplifying the story and making the Kandra's identity the linchpin of all the subplots, I was thoroughly engrossed. I suspected everyone, the guards, the police captain, but not the governor. Fantastic misdirection. Second time through, I couldn't find any clear tells from the governor, yet there were little things. His early departure from the party, taking a while to return home, yet the horses were winded. The governor forgot which book held the key to the secret stash, and he was constantly alone and unguarded when other suspicious things were going down. Yet Bleeder's plan is only the type a lunatic would consider cogent.
It's not about money. It's about sending a message.
If her goal was to release the people from Harmony's grasp, I guess sowing chaos would poetically make sense. But Scadrial is still Harmony's domain. It's still in, as Edwarn put it, Harmony's box. And if Harmony has the extreme puppeteering powers Bleeder believes him to have, then the entire affair, even if successful, would have been ultimately pointless. Which brings us back to the ultimate question. How much power does a shard have? I'm thoroughly invested now and eager to read more. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you would like to see more. Your patronage is greatly appreciated.